All right, so we're going to go ahead and create a validation rule inside of a field. Right now, if you go over to client type, you can choose one of the options from the drop-down menu that we've created previously, but you can also remove this and kind of type whatever you want. And we definitely don't want people to be able to do that. So a validation rule is going to make access check to make sure that the value of whatever's put into here is in fact one of these three values. So to do this, we need to go into design view. We're going to click on the field that we want to adjust, which is client type. And in the field properties in the middle here and down below, there is in fact a validation rule and validation text. The rule is what it needs to be equal to, or what it needs to, whether or not it needs to be greater than something or less than something. You can do validation rules for a lot of reasons. And then the text is what shows up in the pop-up box if they try and put something in that does not actually work. So what we're looking to do is, for instance, do a validation rule where we actually also get to set the default value. So the default value, we want to be NON for a nonprofit. So we're going to go =, NON for that nonprofit. When you click off that, it's going to put quotation marks. So you'll see that it'll default to that. And then we're going to have one of three values allowed. It's going to be able to be non, or, RET, or SER. And the reason we want it to be or is because it needs to be one or the other, not both. If we wanted it to be both, it'd need to be and. But remember those Boolean logic skills that we talked about, it's either and or not. So we want the or option. So it's going to be equal to non, or equal to RET, or equal to SER. And you'll see that when you click out of that box in the validation text, it's going to put quotation marks around those again because they're text strings. But by putting the or in between, Access knows that it can be one or the other. Then we can go ahead and put a validation text of saying like, this must be set to non, RET, or SER. And that can be your validation text. Once you have those three things in, you can then go back to datasheet view and save your table. And it says that it may adjust some of the existing data. Do you want to do that? We'll hit yes. And it's still set to non, but you can see this bottom row now has a default value of non, which it didn't have before. And now if I go in here and I try and type like 3 X's, it's going to yell at me, not yell at me, but give me a prop-up video that says what I wrote must be set to non, SER, or RET. And then I can go in here and set that. And once I set it to a value that is equal to, it'll let me do that. So from this point, now that we've kind of made sure that our client type is working correctly and that it's validated, what we're going to do is go ahead and set our client types for all of our clients. So what we're going to do is the first two of Bavant and Babbage are going to be SER. The next one of Buddha is going to be NON. That one's good. Catering is also going to be, Catering by Jenna is also going to be an SER because it's a service. Granger and Henley are all nonprofits, so they're going to be non. The Cal Design Studio is a service, so it's SER. Kyle Grocery is actually a retail facility, so it's RET. Kyle Museum of Art is a nonprofit. Mike's Electronics and Patricia Jean Florist are both retails. So we're going to set those to RET. And Smarter Law Associates is a service. And the Bike Shop is a retail. So make sure you've got those in there correctly, and we will continue forward in the next video.